Alright everyone, so today I have a review for you on the Braava Jet 240. And I bought this about a week ago, and I used to have the old model which did not spray water. It would just have a pad that it would keep kind of re-wetting. The pads got kind of old, the tires wore out, so I retired that and I now got this new model. As I was unboxing it, I felt like the quality of the packaging was really good. It did come with 6 different sample pads, so it has 2 dry, 2 wet mops, and 2 damp. And so that's really nice that they give you a good variety there to start off. And as I've been using it, some of the things that I've noticed here are I really like the damp mode the best, because I find that battery life will carry through to the entire house just about for us. Whereas when it's in the wet mode, it's going forward and back quite a bit, and it's laying down a lot of water, so it goes through battery quicker in the wet mode, and it also goes through the water quite a bit quicker. And that's one of the drawbacks of this unit, is that it does not let you know when the water level is out or low. So it was running, and I looked, and it really wasn't leaving a wet streak anymore. So I had to kind of restart the whole thing over again, fill it back up with water, and keep a better eye on it. So something to make note of. The other drawback to this unit is that it does not handle carpeting real well, and it all depends on the type of carpeting and how high the pile is. So for us, we have some areas where the wood floor goes right level with the carpeting, and there were times where it actually went over and onto the carpeting, which is kind of gross because this thing's running all over your house. It might be in your bathroom, and then to take all that dirt and germs and go right over your carpet is not real ideal. So that's a few of the drawbacks to this unit. What I really like, and overall I do recommend this product, I really like the fact that you don't need an external brick like some of the older models and some of the other vacuums, or a lighthouse that basically stores the map. Everything is done with this unit, so basically you hit the power button, fill it up with water, and go. Alright, so when we boot up the app, you see it connects, and it connects fairly quickly. So we've got the robot cleaning right now, and it said connected. We're getting the status, and it is loading, and it shows 100% battery. If we tap on the clean button, as you could hear, it paused the robot. If we hit clean again, it will start cleaning, and it'll pick right up where it left off, as long as you don't pick up the robot. If you pick them up, then it's going to reset the map, because at that point it doesn't know where you picked them up and set them back down, so it loses its orientation. If you click on any of the little side gray areas, that is where that's what you'd use to start your what they would call like an invisible fence, basically. So wherever the back of the robot is, when you hit that button and then press clean, the robot will not go behind that line. So it creates an invisible fence behind the robot, which is really cool. If you click on the little water droplet, it's going to tell you what type of pad you have on. So this one shows dry sweeping pad. And then it has a shopping cart that takes you to the store. It has spot cleaning mode if you just want to clean a certain spot. And the 3 dotted lines take you into settings, which is pretty cool. And within here, the most important thing is on the pad options. This will actually allow you to change the amount of water that's dispensed for any type of pad that you have, which is really cool. So I found that with the washable damp pads that I wanted to do a lower amount of water for those, and everything else do a medium level. So this is something that can only be controlled within the app and not without the app. So if you don't have the app set up, you will not be able to change those items. And if we click on the 3 dash lines in the upper left hand corner, you can add a robot. You can connect this to your smart home. This particular model, that does not work, but some of the other Roomba models do, which is pretty cool. And that is a quick tour of the app. So that's really nice, and I love the smart mapping. This thing can be mazed throughout your house, and when it decides it needs to go back to an area, it will go right back out without knocking into any walls or any carpeting. So it definitely maps your house out, and it is what I would consider a smart robot. And I also like the fact, I was kind of curious about how it knows not to spray walls or furniture. And basically what it does is it goes up a little bit, and when it decides it's going to spray, it goes up, and if it doesn't hit a wall or furniture or nothing stops it, it backs up a little bit and then sprays. So there's no sensors to sense where a wall is besides just the impact sensors. So once it starts mapping out your house and it's doing its cleaning cycle, it gets a little bit smarter, and you see it slowing down before hitting walls. The other thing I really like is that you don't need to lay down any sort of an invisible fence. I really like that by pressing and holding the power button, 2 lines light up on the robot itself, and that tells you it's in the invisible fence mode. And basically how that works is wherever the back of the robot is, when you push that invisible fence button by holding the power button down 2 seconds, it will not go behind its current location. So that's really, really cool, and it works flawlessly. And I also like the fact that for about $15 you can get the disposable pads, or not disposable, the reusable pads. So I can provide a link for the ones that I purchased below. So my thoughts after a week of ownership, spending $170 on this. The pads, you get 10 of them for about $7. And so that's something to consider. If you're going to get reusable, you know, it's a more economical solution. The one thing I would caution you about is with the reusable, whether it's the iRobot brand or any of the off brands, is that it gets kind of noisy, and there's a vibration sound. That head of that robot actually vibrates a little bit, and that's meant to capture all the dirt and debris and really scrub your floors. But there's more friction with the reusable pads, so the whole unit kind of vibrates, and it's almost difficult to even be around it with the reusable pads. They work really well in dry mode, but when they're in the wet mode, they are pretty loud, at least for my testing. But overall, really, really happy with this unit. I'm getting 2 hours of battery out of it, just about 2, and that's in the wet mode. I get a little bit more out of the dry mode, and I'm probably filling up the water canister maybe 2 times for each cleaning cycle. So you are going to want to be around. This isn't something you're going to want to leave the house and let it go, because when it stops, you're going to have a wet pad that's just kind of stopped, which may not be a big deal for certain types of flooring, but with wood flooring, I don't really want a wet pad just sitting there for a long period of time. So again, I'll provide links below for everything. I'll have a link for the robot and for the cleaning pads that I purchased. The company I got the cleaning pads from was very stand up, and I said I had a little issue with noise, even though I thought it was the robot. They took care of me with that and were really, really responsive. They responded within like 15 minutes of my email at 8 o'clock at night. So alright, so I just wanted to show you what the aftermarket Key Pow pads look like. These were about $15 for a 5-pack. You get 1 dry pad, you get 2 of the damp and 2 of the wet pads. And these are all interchangeable, so like let's say you don't want to use any of these for the wet and you want them all to work as a dry pad, you would just have to use the backing for the dry pad, which is this one, for all 3 or all 5 of them. So it's kind of cool you can do that. This is just a Velcro material, so when you flip it over, you just push it on like that and it's good to go. These 2 I used for about an hour and they came out absolutely filthy, which is shocking to me because we did just Swiffer our floor. So it's kind of cool to see that they pulled out quite a bit of gunk. And then those are machine washable. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more videos. Thank you.